psychology perspective, the more you hold back your neediness, the more others tend to value you. Think about it. At first, you're not that interested in someone. You're relaxed, natural, even a bit careless around them. Yet they're the one always chasing you, initiating conversations, trying to get closer. But the moment you truly start liking them, giving all your time, attention, and affection, they begin to pull away. Suddenly they're colder, slower to reply, less engaged. Why? The answer is neediness. When you really want someone, you can't help messaging often, hoping for instant replies. You compliment them, try to please them, write long emotional texts, thinking it will win them over. But what they see is a desperate craving, too much desire in the balance of the relationship. In human perception, when your need is much higher than theirs, your emotional value drops. Here's an example. A friend once went to an art gallery. The moment he saw a painting by a famous artist, he was hooked. His heart raced. He told the gallery owner, "I've dreamed about this for years. Today, no matter what, I'm taking it home." The owner instantly saw his neediness and raised the price. He praised the artwork's unimaginable value and refused to discount it. My friend, too eager to negotiate, ended up paying whatever the owner asked. Relationships work the same way. Show too much neediness and you hand over control. The other person starts feeling they're the prize, you're the lucky one. They become careless with your feelings, assuming you'll never leave. Neediness often shows in overgiving without boundaries, putting their needs above yours, letting them decide everything, and making yourself passive. This doesn't mean you should have no desire. Attraction requires some need, but your need should be equal to or less than theirs. The problem is, neediness leaks out in small ways. How often you text, how quickly you reply, how eager you are to meet, how easily you give in, how you force small talk to keep the conversation alive. So how do you control it? 2 methods. First, emotional desensitization. Don't overvalue their looks or charm. No matter how attractive or smooth they are, remind yourself this doesn't define your worth. Keep a mindset of calm detachment, and they won't find your weak spot. Second, value sharing. See yourself as adding value to their life, not chasing theirs. Share your experiences, positivity, and presence freely because you want to, not because you're trying to earn love. When you act from abundance, even the most confident person will be drawn to you. When you consistently show your own charm and worth, they'll be the one leaning in, afraid to lose you. Words don't hurt. But that's a lie. If someone is constantly criticized, their brain starts to change. Harvard research shows long-term verbal abuse can damage the hippocampus, the part responsible for memory and learning. It kills focus, drains confidence, and even lowers cognitive ability. But most people don't even realize it's happening, because verbal abuse doesn't leave bruises. It hides behind everyday phrases. Why are your grades still so bad? Can't you even do this right? I was just joking. Don't be so sensitive. Over time, you start to believe them. You shrink. You doubt yourself. You stop showing up as who you really are. This is emotional violence. And the worst part? It doesn't heal on its own. Psychologists call this learned helplessness. You lose the ability to make decisions. You forget what you even want. So what can you do? Stop brushing it off. Stop pretending it's not that bad. Start protecting yourself. Set boundaries. Step away from those who keep tearing you down. Because your mind, your heart, your life, they don't belong to anyone else's anger. You deserve to feel safe inside your own head. How do you really know someone's character? Don't judge them when things are going well. Watch them in their lowest moments. When they're broke, angry, embarrassed, or losing control. That's when their real self shows up. See how they treat people who can't fight back. Waiters, janitors, or their own parents. Kindness with no benefit? That's real. And pay attention when you're in trouble. Do they stand with you or distance themselves to protect their image? A person's true character isn't who they pretend to be on a good day. It's who they are when they think no one's watching. Today, I'm going to talk about highly sensitive person. Do you replay someone's glance in your head, wondering if you said something wrong? Do you overthink when a text goes unanswered, reading your own words again and again? This isn't drama, it's sensitivity. Psychologists call it high sensitivity. Your nervous system picks up the smallest shifts in tone, mood, or body language. You don't just notice things, you feel them 10 times deeper. Maybe you grew up in a home where shouting and tension were constant, and you learned that silence felt safest. Now you blend into crowds, but inside, you're on alert. This isn't weakness, it's a gift. Others see outlines, you see colors, emotions, and light. A kind word can warm you for a day, a song can move you to tears. But sensitivity needs boundaries. Not everyone deserves your energy. You can be soft without pleasing everyone. Your sensitivity connects you to the world in a rare way. So don't hide it, protect it. Let it guide you and let it shine. Met someone who always argues no matter what you say? You tell them you're stressed, they say they're more stressed. You say, I don't like coffee. They snap back, that's because you've never had good coffee. Even when they agree with you, they somehow say it in the most disagreeable way. This is what psychology calls a contrarian personality, or defensive listener. They're not trying to understand, they're scanning for flaws, ready to strike. Why? Because disagreement makes them feel in control. They grew up needing to be right, just to feel safe. Maybe in a home where being wrong meant being punished. So now, arguing isn't about the topic. It's about protecting their fragile self-worth. They see the world in black or white. If you disagree, you're not just wrong, you're rejecting them. So how do you deal with someone like this? First, don't fight back. You'll never win. Just nod and move on. Sure, you're right. Second, set gentle boundaries. Say, let's talk later, before it turns into a fight. Finally, and don't waste energy over-explaining. You don't need to win every conversation to prove your worth. Their need to argue is their battle, not yours. Protect your peace. You deserve calm, respectful conversations. And no, you're not too sensitive. You're just tired of being dragged into a fight that was never about you. Today, I'm going to talk about the fear of greatness. Every time I encounter a great work of art, for a brief moment, I glimpse the potential within myself, a fearless courage to face life head-on. But then my focus begins to fade. A sudden ache in the body, a small failure, and a strange fear quietly returns. That's when I realize the resistance inside me never truly left. When we break through illusions and face the truth of existence, we're hit with a double shock: awe at the beauty of life, and terror at how small we really are. Krishnamurti called this the Jonah complex, an allergic reaction to greatness. He said, fear comes from thought, the same thought that protects us from the world's cruelty. Thought always seeks certainty, but the future doesn't fit into the patterns of the past. Still, the mind tries, predicting tomorrow based on yesterday, recreating joy by repeating old conditions. But fear never leaves. Because deep down, we know the past is no map for the future. The mind tells us the world is fixed, that who we are is already decided. And when we finally see that the future can't be controlled, fear takes over. But here's the radical truth. That fear is the sign you're fully alive. When we stop covering the present with fantasies of tomorrow, the fear begins to dissolve. Krishnamurti wrote, "To understand death is to live without fear. Not physical death, but the end of our obsession with the future." And like the phantom pain of a lost limb, one day we may find that a life with no tomorrow is what makes every moment as full as the birth of the universe. Still up at 2 a.m. scrolling until your eyes burn? It's not just bad habits, it's emotional exhaustion. You spend all day giving your time to everyone else, school, work, people. By the time you're finally alone, it's already midnight. And even if you're just doom scrolling, it feels like freedom. But once you put the phone down, boom, anxiety. You spiral into regrets, what-ifs, and panic about tomorrow. This isn't just insomnia, it's your brain rebelling because your emotional needs weren't met. Psychologists call it revenge bedtime procrastination, delaying sleep to feel in control. You don't need more willpower, you need more self-understanding. Stop forcing sleep. Start listening to what you're avoiding. Give yourself space, give yourself kindness. That's where real rest begins. What's happening to me? That's the question looping in your head, every minute, every second. When you are in a low, there's nothing you want. No future you're excited to chase, just time ticking by, reminding you of how far you've drifted from who you used to be. The world keeps pushing forward, but you pull back, deeper into your shell. Sleep becomes your escape. Little distractions become your lifeline. Not because they bring joy, but because they let you forget. Forget the weight. Forget yourself. Ever notice how the things people attack you for are often what they hate most in themselves? That girl who calls you too much, she's scared of her own emotions. That guy who mocks your looks, he's insecure about his own. It's called projection. People throw their inner shame, fear, and pain onto you so they don't have to face it themselves. It's not about you. It never was. It's just their baggage leaking out. Next time someone criticizes you out of nowhere, don't shrink. See them clearly and walk away with your peace intact. Yeah, me too. Sometimes those fantasies feel better than real life. They're like free painkillers, easy to access, instantly soothing. But here's the truth. If you're always escaping into your imagination, it might be more than zoning out. It could be maladaptive daydreaming, a real psychological coping mechanism. We build fantasy worlds because real life feels too painful, too lonely, too out of control. Maybe you grew up feeling ignored, judged, or never truly seen. So now you create stories where you finally feel safe, powerful, wanted. But the more perfect the fantasy, the harsher reality feels. And slowly, we lose touch. Here's how to break the cycle. Turn fantasy into action. Use those dreams as blueprints. Break them down into small, real-world goals. Get around people who make you feel seen, not judged. Practice sharing your real emotions. No filters, no scripts. Your imagination is beautiful, but your real life deserves love too. And the more you engage with the present, the less you'll need to escape it. You're not too sensitive. You're just ready to come home to yourself. Ever feel like your biggest enemy is your own mind? You want to start anything, but your brain floods with questions. What if I fail? Will they judge me? Am I even good enough? So you wait. You overthink. And slowly, the spark fades. You rehearse every conversation in your head before it happens. Water down your words, soften your tone, just to avoid being misunderstood. You're not living. You're managing perceptions. Then come the thoughts that never shut up. Embarrassing memories, worst-case scenarios, a voice that whispers, "You're the problem. You're not enough." That's not reality. It's mental exhaustion. You're stuck in a fight with yourself, trying to win a war no one else can see. But hear this. You don't have to silence a noise all at once. Just shift your focus. Do one small thing you can control. Stand up. Drink water. Send the text. Prove to your brain you're still here, still moving. You're not broken. You're just tired of carrying everything alone. You deserve to rest without guilt, and you deserve to come back. One quiet